today to talk about AFarCry, which is a democratically led, collectively organized chamber orchestra, which we started 6 years ago. At the time, we were just finishing grad school, and we were seized by a desire and a collective optimistic belief that we could launch a project on our own. We all love chamber music, but wanted to do something a little different from what we saw happening all around us, which at the time was a bunch of really excellent string quartets being started, it seemed, everywhere.
People have asked who started the group, but it was more like there was just something in the air in the musical scene in Boston at the moment. There were a ton of great string players who wanted to play together, and we were in a city that both supported the arts and new ventures in many fields, and it was also a time when most of us couldn't see ourselves in a traditional orchestra only because we had too many very personal ideas about exactly how and exactly what we wanted to play.
When we founded the group, we were all idealists, so we attempted to create a group that applies the creative autonomy of smaller ensembles to a string orchestra, radically democratic leadership, where everyone had an equal say, with everyone pitching in on the administrative side to make it work. When we first started, I would say we were pulling ourselves by our bootstraps, but as you can see, some of us were happy to play barefoot. This free-for-all often turned into unproductive anarchy.
There were so many ideas jumping around the group that it was incredibly difficult to implement them, or to properly sort through and prioritize our basics. Our rehearsals could become long and tense, and would quickly be led on tangents as particular people attached their ego to a particular detail in the music at the expense of the larger picture. Beyond that, the absence of a conductor presented some specific challenges with regard to how to feel a group rhythm and play together.
So we began to try different things. In our second season, we began instituting a system which created more of a constitutional republic and less pure anarchy. For each piece we played, we would democratically select a group of principals, and only they could stop a rehearsal while we were playing. They would facilitate the rehearsal process and would be tasked with the greater sculpting of a musical interpretation. Members who were not a principal were limited to 2 comments a rehearsal.
When we were particularly pressed for time, or there were a lot of ideas bubbling around the group, we needed additional help. So we created a position called a spanker, whose role is purely to make sure that rehearsal is moving smoothly through all the priorities. If not, the spanker yells, "Spank!" And no matter what we are doing or where we are, we have to stop and move on.
We've experimented with creative ways to incorporate self-conducting into what we do. Sometimes we literally do conduct ourselves as we play. Sometimes, particularly with rhythmically complex music, we count out loud as we rehearse.
We're going to count with dynamics.
Okay, count your dynamics.
As the primary thing. So dynamics, accents, and energy.
1, 2, 3.
Can we keep that counting exactly that loud in our heads and just get rid of vocalizing it?
The other side of starting our own group from scratch is that we were not only performers, but also our own administrators. What started out haphazardly with those who felt the urgency running to put out fires as they happened slowly became more organized.
So by our 4th season, we had gone from flying by the seat of our pants to something that might look more familiar to corporate bureaucracies. This represents our current structure. We have 1 staff member, our administrative director. Beyond that, we have 4 member-populated committees: development, marketing, operations, and community partnerships and education. And then at the heart of our organization, we have a 3-person committee known as the Artistic Triangle. This executive committee works with our artistic management to make sure that personnel, scheduling, and bookings work smoothly, with all artistic decisions being facilitated by what we call the artistic axle, similar to an artistic director and other groups. The axle interacts with spokes, who are the leaders for each piece we play, to make sure that artistic decisions are being facilitated by the whole group in a timely manner, and that we present a final product that is convincing to our audience.
We've been talking about the environment we've created within our group and how it has changed, but we are also aware we fit inside of a larger environment. For the past 4 years, we've had our home, our rehearsal space, which is a storefront in Jamaica Plain on South Street that's visible to anyone walking by. We're located between a bar and Botanica San Miguel, a one-stop shop for magic supplies and botanical herbs. When we rehearse, we have local members of the community walking by, looking in, and sometimes even stopping in to listen to us.
We feel, as members of JP, that a lot of people there feel like we are their orchestra, we are their musicians, living, working with them, being a key part of the neighborhood. It's pretty cool to have not just a local farmer's market, but a local orchestra. People at the coffee shop or the bakery often shout over to us, "Thanks for that concert last night," or "What were you rehearsing when I walked by it last night? That looked really insane."
We think it's important for our members to engage their community in a way that makes everything that we're doing accessible to everyone. In addition to our subscription concert series at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum and our concerts at Jordan Hall, we also are able to provide free concerts in Jamaica Plain thanks to the Free for All Concert Fund. And next year we'll be presenting a full 4-concert series at no charge in JP at our home at St. John's Church. We're also committed to maintaining a strong presence in the local schools. We've been able to perform several times at schools in Jamaica Plain and Dorchester, bringing workshops, instrument samples, and lively demonstrations into the students' environment. We also maintain a relationship with the New England Conservatory, inviting students to join us as fellows in both performance and administration. Beyond that, we've performed tours during the last 3 seasons, taking us across 2/3 of the US, playing concerts in schools and performing in halls, all sorts, informal, formal, indoors, outdoors. And this past October, we took AFarCry on its first international tour, performing in 6 cities across Austria. We hope that every trip we take spreads some of our Bostonian revolutionary spirit, even as we absorb our own lessons about how those communities function.
We've spent many hours, days, weeks, months, and years working together to try to make our ideals of radical, creative democracy within our ensemble work. And we believe that the functioning of our group is representative of greater shifts in the artistic world towards more collaboration, more entrepreneurship, and more localism and community engagement. We hope that as we evolve and the community evolves around us, we can continue to contribute with our own musical voice, or rather, voices.
1, 2, 1.